Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial starting with open source philosophy. Let's get started. So what is the philosophy of open source? It really comes down to freedom, the freedom to use and modify, and this comes down to the licensing itself. The basic premise of open source software is that the source code is available for anyone to freely use, modify, or redistribute. If you've been following along, I've brought up forking several times, but to reiterate, forking occurs when software developers use the source code from one project to start an entirely new project. If you remember popular examples, AroundCloud to Nextcloud, OpenOffice to LibreOffice, MySQL to MariaDB, and you could really consider Red Hat to CentOS to be a fork as well. So certainly derivative distributions, such as Ubuntu, are forked from Debian. Now here's where things start to differ a little bit, and if you remember some of the reasons I kind of touched on with the forking, say from AroundCloud to Nextcloud, or from MySQL to MariaDB, OpenOffice to LibreOffice, it usually boils down to a difference in philosophy on what open source is and should be. In other words, is it simple software that you use for free as in someone else paid for the development of it, or is it software that is truly free as in the freedom to think and speak? This is really what it comes down to in terms of philosophical differences. And this is where we come to a philosophical fork, pun intended. When a project is forked, the licensing under the original code base must be examined. So if we look down here, consider this our sort of fork in the road. On the path to the left, we have permissive licensing. That is, no restrictions are in place to guarantee how the project code will be used, modified, or even sold. On the path to the right, we have copyleft. Copyleft implies that derivative work will use the same license as the original software. Now permissive and copyleft is pretty broad in scope, and you can think of it as a gradient. Software licenses can be a little permissive or a lot permissive, or a little copyleft or a lot copyleft, but these are the general directions of open source licensing, and that is something we're going to cover in more detail in the next lesson, when we look at licensing itself. This lesson is now complete. Please subscribe, like, share and comment on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.